I grew up in a lot of places. I grew up in foster care, so I lived in a lot of houses, went to a lot of schools. My mom, she was a drug addict. She was a dancer. She had a lot of different boyfriends, and they weren't the best people to her. I saw a lot of violent things happen, and went through some violent stuff myself, a lot of fights and things like that. And we were actually removed from the home when I was 6. I remember the day, still to this day. I remember it. I remember the cops coming to get me, and my mom screaming and fighting with the cops, and them dragging me and my sister into the back of the cop car, and we went away. And then I was 8 years old, and one day we visited with my mom, and she told me that she'd never see me again. This was the last time I'd see her until I turned 18, and that day sort of changed my life. It changed my heart. That day was the day that everything changed. So back in foster care, I got adopted at 9, and my last name changed to Romine, and it lasted for 6 years or so, and they were sheltered years. Then not a lot happened. My adopted dad was rather kind of abusive, and that's how that ended. So we went back into foster care, and I haven't seen them since. And so I started doing drugs, smoking weed, drinking. It was easy to forget about everything, put my heart aside, and then couldn't get out of it. And it didn't want to either. I had no desire to. And turned 18, found my kids' mom, ran away with her. She was in foster care too. So we went to Colorado, smoking weed and drinking, selling magazines out of motel rooms, and we thought we were just so cool. We didn't need nobody, And, so we got pregnant with my son. And so me and her, of course, her growing up in the situation she grew up in, she had her heart issues too. They were similar to mine, but always completely different. No two stories were alike, so no two outcomes can be the same. And so she has her own problems, and we just clashed. We never got physically violent, but we tore each other down, and we were destructive for each other. Really ripped each other's hearts out a lot. I was in and out of prison for years, and my son just kept growing up, and then eventually she lost him, and he went to the system. And so I met my mom. I reunited with my mom. I was looking for her that whole time, my whole life, and I found her. It wasn't good. Some things happened, some misunderstandings maybe some coincidences. I thought she'd stolen from me. She thought I'd stolen from her, and it's just toxic. And so it's been kind of rough ever since. But I just knew in my heart something could be different, and it doesn't have to be this way. I don't have to be lonely. I don't have to be lost in the world. I can find purpose in relationships and reason to be. And so there was a lot of hopelessness between my kids being gone and not knowing any idea of what hope I could have. I just had this notion that there was hope. Some reason, somehow, I wasn't giving up. So that's kind of what life was like before I had victory. I walked through the door and was exposed to a God that I didn't know I was looking for. I didn't understand the gospel, and being at Victory with the leaders that were put in my life and the teachers that are just so well ordained for what they do. They taught me about grace, and they taught me about hope. They taught me acceptance. They taught me everything I was never taught before. They taught me of a God that I just didn't know I was looking for, the God I was so desperate for, and all the things that I've ever wanted in my life, I had already had. I already had them. I had a family. I've been accepted. I've been loved this whole time, valued, cherished, and not just loved and valued and cherished, but especially so. Favored. So the classes and everything at Victory, they taught me a lot. But what struck home and what hit my heart, what changed me, was just learning about God. That's what it all was. That's what I didn't know I was missing. And you don't know what you don't know, so it's hard to find it. And so my kids are back in my life. I talk to my kids' mom. She has them back. I've found a sense of purpose. My heart is drawn to this ministry and drawn to what's going on here. And I found an identity in what I'm doing and the people I'm helping and the people I get to encourage and talk to and counsel. And I get to spend my whole day side by side with chaplains, talking to them and gaining wisdom and leadership skills. And I just wanted a house and a car and a job. That's all I thought I wanted in sobriety. And those things came, but they're so small compared to what I got. So all I've got is this really fuzzy picture of my future. I don't have a real detailed painting of it yet. I just know that I need to go into recovery ministry. I need to do something with what I was given, and I need to bring people out of the hopelessness that I was lost in, because I know how to get out of that. I am living a victorious life. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. I'm learning how much is still ahead. And the victory doesn't stop. It's not like it happens and you get a medal and it's over. It's ongoing, and it's amazing.